Ever wonder what makes a great actor truly captivating? Like, how do they pull you in and make you believe every word?
Oh, yeah. It's like they have this magic touch, right?
Totally. Well, get ready to unlock some of those secrets. We're going deep, deep into a masterclass that Tom Hanks himself gave at the Oxford Union.
Oh, wow. Tom
Yeah.
Hanks at Oxford.
You bet. And we've got the transcript, which, let me tell you, is just packed with gold nuggets of acting wisdom. And one of the biggest takeaways, at least for me,
Yeah, what's that?
it's that great acting isn't about tricks or techniques. It's about something way more powerful. It's about authenticity, like really, truly becoming the character.
Interesting. I can see how that would make a performance so much more believable and engaging, right?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
to get there, Hanks uses these really cool exercises. So he starts with this super simple line, is there something I can do for you?
Okay. Sounds simple enough.
Right. But then he throws in these different scenarios,
Yeah.
each one completely changing how you deliver that line.
Oh, I see. Like the context changes everything.
Exactly. Yeah. So picture this. You're like totally ecstatic, about to meet your crush, right?
Right.
And suddenly, bam, an elderly person trips and falls right in front of you,
Oh, no.
right? So how does that change how you say, is there something I can do for you?
Well, your tone would totally shift. Like all that excitement would go right out the window. You'd be concerned, wanting to help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even be a conscious choice,
Yeah.
right? Like the emotion would just naturally come through in your voice.
Totally. It's like your whole demeanor would change in an instant.
And Hanks uses all sorts of other scenarios too. Like imagine you're this totally burnt out city worker, just going through the motions, you know?
Oh, yeah. Been there.
Right. Or how about a shopkeeper who's dealing with a potential thief? Like they're suspicious and maybe even a little angry.
Okay, so all these different situations using the same simple line.
Yep. And what I find so fascinating about this is how it highlights the power of empathy in acting. Like to really become a character, you have to step into their shoes.
Oh, I get it. You got to understand their motivations, their emotions, like what makes them tick.
Exactly. It's not enough to just say the words.
Hmm.
You have to convey the whole emotional world behind them. And that's what makes acting truly captivating.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So Hanks takes it even a step further, flipping the script using the line, it's all right, I'm okay. So now you're the elderly person who fell, feeling embarrassed, maybe a little hurt,
Ah, poor thing.
right? So how would your I'm okay change based on who you're talking to?
Hmm. That's interesting. Like, if it was someone kind, I might let a little vulnerability slip through. But if it was that jaded city worker,
Oh, yeah.
I might try to brush it off, you know?
Like
Yep.
put on a brave face to avoid any awkwardness.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting for everyone, even if you're not an actor. Like, how often do we find ourselves in similar situations where we need to communicate something simple,
Right.
but with this whole ocean of emotions underneath? All the time, actually. Like, think about asking a close friend for help versus asking a colleague you barely know. The words might be the same, but
But the tone is completely different.
exactly. It's like we're constantly navigating these subtle layers of communication. And that's what's so cool about Hanks's approach, I think. Like, he's not just giving you acting tips, he's giving you a way to, like, understand people better.
It's like acting 101 is also life 101.
Totally.
Yeah.
And he's really clear that this stuff takes effort. He talks about like procedure and behavior.
Procedure behavior.
Yeah. So it's not enough to just, feel the right emotion. Everything you do, how you move, your expressions, it all has to match.
So if your character is heartbroken,
It's got to be more than just saying, I'm devastated. You have to show it in every way.
I see you have to embody the emotion.
Exactly. Like even your breathing changes when you're really feeling something deeply.
That's a great point. He also talks about how even small roles can be really impactful.
Oh, yeah. He mentions Turner Classic Movies. And sometimes there's this one actor who just grabs your attention.
Even if they're only on screen for a minute.
Yeah. And Hank says it's because they're so present, so committed to the truth of that moment.
Like they're not even acting.
Right. It's like they just are. And that's what makes a great actor. They disappear into the role. And all you see is that raw, real character.
And this leads to this really interesting idea that Hanks brings up. The social contract between the actor and the audience.
Ooh, tell me more about that.
So he's saying that when we go to a play or watch a movie,
We're kind of making a deal with the actors, right?
exactly, we're agreeing to believe in the world they're creating, to let ourselves get swept away.
And in return, the actors have to be truthful in their performance.
Like they can't just phone it in, they owe it to the audience to give it their all.
It's a two-way street.
Exactly. And Hanks argues that when both sides hold up their end of the bargain, That's when something magical happens. That's when the story really comes alive.
I like that. And what's so inspiring is that Hanks himself really embodies this philosophy.
In every role he takes on.
Yeah, whether he's doing comedy or drama, he brings that same level of commitment and authenticity.
So it's not just about the character, it's about him as an actor.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes him so captivating. He's like inviting you in,
Yeah.
to share in this glimpse of what it means to be human.
And it's amazing how Hanks connects these acting exercises back to, like, real life,
Yeah, totally. Like he's saying that by exploring these different characters and emotions, we can become more empathetic, more understanding.
It's like empathy training.
Right. And it makes you think, like, how often do we misunderstand each other? Or fail to see things from someone else's perspective?
Yeah, all the time, probably.
Right. But maybe if we approach things with a little more of that, actor's empathy.
We connect better.
Exactly. And he also mentions how even actors who are super successful, they never stop learning.
Oh, yeah, he mentions Emma Watson was actually in the audience for this masterclass.
No way. That's so cool.
Right, it just goes to show you that thirst for knowledge, that willingness to grow, it's so important.
I love that. No matter what you do, you should always be open to new ideas, new ways of looking at things.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. Authenticity, empathy, this social contract idea. What's, like, the one big thing you hope listeners take away from this deep dive?
That's a good question. I think for me, it's that idea that great acting and maybe even a more fulfilling life comes from that commitment to truth.
Being genuine.
Exactly. Whether you're on stage or just like interacting with people in your everyday life, that authenticity, it shines through. It creates a real connection.
So maybe by paying attention to those little details, the nuances of how we interact,
Yeah.
we can all become a bit more like Tom Hanks,
Yeah.
More genuine, insightful, truly connected to others.
Kind of like that. That's a great takeaway.
And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Tom Hanks and the art of acting, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating explorations. We'll see you next time.